What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Thunder Sports Pod with JT, and
The stash, baby. Again, what a wild week this has been.
it's been pretty crazy. A lot of drama surrounding college football and professional sports recently with head coaching jobs. So, right off the bat, let's dive into it. Nick Saban, Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick, Ron Rivera, and the list goes on. Mike Vrabel. So,
Arthur Smith. I mean, it
Arthur
just keeps
Smith.
going.
So let's start. Let's go ahead and start at the top of the list here. So, what did you think about Nick Saban retiring? Very shocking news.
So, as a fan of college football, my first thought was, wow, the GOAT is done. That's my first thought. Second thought, how is this going to affect Alabama's recruiting class? Is my second thought on it. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm like, Nick Saban isn't there, the mastermind. You think they're still getting it done? You still think they're going to be who they were? That's the question that we got to find out. I wouldn't want that job at Alabama though, because whoever's going to be there for the next 2, maybe 3 years, is all going to be compared to Saban. So whoever takes that job, I would not take it straight out of the gate. I would wait on that job. Wait until they fire whoever's next, and then look at taking that job.
They got to get Roll Tide Willie. Blitz, Bama, Blitz.
Blitz, Bama, Blitz.
Man, but I agree with you. It's going to be huge pressure on whoever decides to become the next head coach of Alabama. I mean, historical head coaches there. Nick Saban, the greatest coach to ever live in college football. You got Bear Bryant back in the day with Alabama. I mean, that's big steps to walk into. Um, I don't know. I've heard rumors of Dabo Sweeney. I don't know. We'll have
Mm.
to wait and see. I think they'll hire in-house, if I'm being honest, at least for the next year.
I mean, I don't know how many people are going to decommit now. That's what I want to think about on this. Like, how many people are going to decommit? And like, even Deion Sanders tweeted about it. He's like, "Hey, Alabama, if you don't want to play there, you can come play in Colorado. That's for sure."
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with the players. But I would say a good majority of them just came to Alabama because of Saban.
Oh no, yeah, there's so many people who have went pro through Alabama. So I understand wanting to go there, getting the coaching from Nick Saban, the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah.
So I 100% understand. But now I just I'm looking. If I'm Alabama, I may be looking at Georgia. I'll be looking at some of these other schools now. Are we going to
Mm.
return to Alabama of the '90s?
Hey, Mike Norvell, Florida State's head coach, has the highest odds to become the next Alabama head coach, apparently.
If he does that, you know how I've been with Florida State this year. How everything that's happened with them and everything. If he takes that job, you did not care about them players at all. Like you fought for them,
Yeah.
you fought for them all year. You take that job now, no, you did not. And I understand advancing in your career. I 100% understand that, but there's ways of going about that. That this is not the right way.
Not at all. But so we'll go ahead and move to the NFL side of things. There's been a lot of head coaches in the league get fired, step down. Let's start off at the top of the chain. Bill Belichick,
The goat,
decades with the Patriots.
the greatest college. I mean, not greatest college, greatest NFL quarterback of all time. Not quarterback. I'm gonna edit this. The greatest coach in NFL history has stepped down. 26 years with the Patriots organization, and the man has won 6 rings there.
Wow.
Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five. 6 rings.
hmm Defensive guru himself. I mean, he was a kid watching his father just game plan different scenarios, and he was just all around the players at a young age. That definitely paid off. Just imagine. And I feel like it's unprecedented. We will never see anything like Bill Belichick and Nick Saban having the greatest college football coach ever and the greatest NFL coach at the same era. That's unheard of.
Oh, definitely. No, and if you look at it, like almost every year, one of them won a title. If you look at it, like almost every one of them won a title, or were in the in contention for the title every year, college or pro. I found this
Did
out
you think
today
that it was,
that
yeah.
the
Did you,
Steelers are 3-4 in AFC Championship games, and all 4 of those are losses to the Patriots.
Wow. Did you think that the fall of Bama and the Patriots would be this soon? Do you think Saban and Belichick would retire and leave them this soon, or do you think it was going to be a while?
No, I mean I talked about it before, like someone taking that spot for Nick Saban. I mentioned that he may retire at the end of the season anyways, in one of our old
Yeah.
podcast videos talking about it.
Mhm.
So I mean the possibility was always there. Belichick's gotten older as well, and with Nick Saban, I think it's transfer portal, 12-man playoff, 12-team playoff. I just think he's kind of like, you know what, I'm not gonna deal with this. Like I'm happy with what I've accomplished in my career, and I'm ready to step down. I mean, he's the greatest to ever do it. So I mean, he could step down at any time and be fine. Now, them doing it back to back days was crazy.
Mm, insane. This begs the question, though. Who do you think's a better coach all time? They coached together in Cleveland in the early
It
90s.
did.
Who do you think's a better coach?
Oh, that's easy. Belichick.
Who?
Hands down, Belichick. Hold on.
What's your reasoning behind that?
One did it professionally. One did it at an amateur level. Super Bowl is going to beat BCS titles every time. I'm sorry. Super Bowls. I mean, look at it.
We're on two opposite fences here, Stash. Let me dive into my reasoning why Nick Saban is the better coach all time. So he did it in both. He went to college and pros. If he'd have stuck with the pros a little bit longer, I feel like the Dolphins would have been better. That's not my main point though. Bringing it back. So Nick Saban, you know how many times he had never had a losing record out of Alabama? 7 national championships. I feel like recruiting wise, you have to have that personality in you. I feel like he's more outgoing and he's a better recruiter than Bill could have been. And I mean, just the pure dominance that he had for that long at Alabama. Bill was very dominant, but he had Tom Brady. Without Tom Brady, the Patriots have been subpar.
That's fair. You could, and that's a good. I mean, you could. It's fair without Tom Brady. But it's harder in the pros, in my opinion. Recruiting versus drafting. I think drafting's way harder.
I don't
Trying
know.
to get these top players. Like, okay, Nick Saban could go to your high school game, talk to you, tell you everything you want to hear, and get you to come play for him. It's a great organization. I mean, it's got 7 titles. Like, let's be real. And just this in this decade, basically, in the last 25 years, they've got 7 titles. So I mean, you got to throw into consideration with that. Well, and the one at LSU he got. So I'm taking into consideration with that. But like drafting versus recruiting, you can recruit a lot of players, a lot of high talent players real fast, like 5-star, 4-star, 3-star recruits, and they can help your team. But having to pick like in the draft, having to pick these players individually and hoping that they work out in a professional level, I gotta go with Belichick on it.
See, you get a protected pick every single year in the draft, but you've got to do your homework on these players at a high school. Not everyone pans out to be a great player. That's why coaching matters from the college aspect because you mold those players into great players. Yes, there's 5 stars out there, and if you're a good program, you'll get a majority of them. But you've got to mold those players into the type of guys that will build a championship caliber team. It's not just all, oh yeah, this good player comes in my program, they're going to be set.
No, and
There's a lot more into
that's
it.
very fair. But I will also throw in the fact how many people have came into the NFL supposed to be prodigies and be top level players coming out of these big schools and they've been bust. Guy for LSU in the early 2000s got drafted by the Raiders. Oh, I can't
The
think of his name.
quarterback
Jacoby? Oh, no, what was his name? Yeah, he played for the
for
quarterback.
the Raiders,
Yeah, he got drafted by the Raiders. He was a bust. Never watched film, but he was great in
Jamarcus
college.
Russell.
Huh?
Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, Jamarcus
Was it
Russell.
Jamarcus Russell?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was Jamarcus Russell. That's a great example.
for sure. But you also got to think about there's 32 teams in the NFL. There's a lot more college teams you got to compete with trying to get these players.
Do we really though? Because most of the time, those schools aren't even ranked. That you got to really worry about. Only teams you got to worry about is 25. Really, real teams. And this year,
I mean,
if as long as you're a top 12 school team, you're good.
yeah, for the when it matters for the playoffs, but for recruiting wise, these players could go anywhere in the nation,
I mean,
all
that's
50 states.
that's very true. But SEC's been very dominant. Big Ten just got a ring, and I'll
Yeah.
take into consideration that with the longevity of how strong the SEC's been for the majority of the time. Do you not think the SEC's getting the top recruits every year? Anyways, just on the performance based on them and how powerful of a conference they've been. Like, are
Yeah.
they not going to players not going to look at the SEC first, then look at the other divisions? So I just don't think the recruiting is that difficult for Alabama, especially when you have so many national titles and most people want to go play there. Now, starting at Alabama would be a whole different story. That's
Mm,
super difficult. I would give that. But recruiting versus drafting, I've got to go with Bill Belichick on this. Like, it's a professional versus amateur level.
mm. Let us know down below, guys. Do you think Bill Belichick was a better head coach or Nick Saban? Also, what do you think about the other head coaches that have going to be new teams in 2024? Mike Vrabel, Pete Carroll, Ron Rivera,
Mike Vrabel, in my
Arthur
opinion, shouldn't have got fired. I don't think Mike Vrabel should have been fired. I think that some of the choices they did were not. I would have kept AJ Brown and let Derrick Henry go. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I would have done that. And then you gave away your cornerback for next to nothing to the Eagles as
yeah.
well.
Safety,
Or
yeah.
yeah, safety. So I'm like,
Secondary, didn't matter.
but like it's just nonsense. I was like, okay, so you're just making a terrible bunch of terrible like decisions. Should have got rid of Ryan Tannehill a couple years ago, in my opinion. I've said this forever. Titans, you're never gonna win a Super Bowl with Ryan Tannehill. It's never gonna happen. We got the AFC Championship. Yes, where have you been since then?
Very true. Yeah, they're embracing the rebuild, I feel like, because they're definitely moving on from Vrabel. Derrick Henry's not going to come back next year. They're most likely going to cut D Hop.
Rebuild everything.
They're
Rebuild it all.
everything. Yeah. Will Levis is their future.
I believe that. I think he could be a good quarterback. I don't know about how good. I say he could probably be a top 15 quarterback if he can
Mm,
get everything that he needs worked around him. Like their O line needs help. Uh, they need the weapons. Like I talked about Brock Bowers going to the tight ends. I think that would be a great choice for them because they
for
just
sure.
need the receiving help.
That'd be a great fit. He would easily be their number one go-to guy.
Oh, definitely.
But we'll go ahead and move on to the next topic, everybody. So, a little bit of NBA talk here. Ja versus Draymond Green suspension. Who deserved it more?
I'm gonna go with Ja. I think Draymond's been needing a suspension for a while. Don't get me wrong, but like as someone who grew up watching NBA, like we look at these guys, we idolize them, like we think they're like superheroes. They're famous people and they play sports for professionally. So like there's a lot of young kids who look up to Ja. So I get why his punishment was the way it was. And Draymond's been a dirty player forever. It's about time they finally like did something about it. I actually surprised they just reinstated him because like he even talked about retiring because of it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, the Warriors are not looking like the Warriors. They just got booed in two back-to-back games at home. On top of that, at
yeah.
home you're getting booed in California. And in Golden State. Let's talk about it. Like that's crazy. But I think Ja deserved it more, but Draymond definitely did deserve a suspension.
You don't think Draymond deserved a suspension at all?
No. I'm saying he
Oh,
does.
he does.
They
Okay.
both do. I think Ja just deserved his suspension more
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
like I said, you got a bunch of kids looking up to you. You can't be doing that.
Yeah. I agree with you. Ja has definitely, I feel like, been immature. Early stages in his career, not taking that seriously, like his role model status for these kids. I mean, you got to think about that. So ultimately, I think the suspension was fair. He got back from it. Unfortunately, has the season-ending shoulder injury for the Grizzlies. That's going to be
Yeah, that
detrimental
was
for their playoff
just
hopes.
got him back.
But next year, hopefully, he'll be back and be ready for the season. And hopefully, all of this will subside and he won't have any issues in the future with the commissioner.
Yeah, I hope not.
I'm going to have to side with Draymond. I think that the suspension deserved more for Draymond Green because this has been going on for years and he's been getting away with it for quite some time now. And I guarantee you the players would side with me on this because they're tired of his just the way he acts on the court. Um,
He's dirty. He's a
I mean,
dirty player.
the one that he got suspended for, he literally went out of his way to elbow him in the face, and I don't know. It was just abruptly. I personally think Draymond Green, if he does it again, should be suspended for a larger amount than whatever it was. Was it 12, 16 games, something like that?
Yeah, it was like 16 games.
Yeah.
Um,
So if he does that again, I don't know what they're gonna do, but that just shows the little respect that he has for the authority of the commissioner because he's thinking that he can get away with this. And yeah, I get being tough and stuff like that, but there's a difference between being tough and a dirty player.
No, that's definitely true. And I was gonna add that. I'm like, I'm perfectly fine with you playing hard, but
Yeah,
like I watched some really like bad plays and like out of like bad taste. I'm like, nah, there's no reason for that. So I remember when I can't remember his name. Tyler Hansborough for UNC got that forearm to the face when he went up. There was no call. There was no
yeah.
reason for that. Busted him open and everything. I'm like, that was completely flagrant. There was no reason for that. Now playing tough though, and like I mean this game's physical for sure. So no doubt, I like the game needs to be physical.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that for sure. But let us know down below, who do you agree with more? The Draymond Green suspension or John Morant suspension? So we'll go ahead and move on to the next topic. Who are the top three teams in the NBA, West and East?
Right now, East
Who do you think are the best? Not just standing wise, but who do you think personally is the best? Like
Tim-
the best chance to
Timberwolves looks
make a
hot.
run.
Like I know they're leading, but they are just looked so good with Ant. I've probably put them in one of my lists for the West. I gotta throw OKC in there. They've been balling out.
Oh
And
yeah.
and then after OKC, SGA has been like playing lights out. Like he's been playing great. So I got to throw him in the max. And then I'm going to throw in
Mhm.
the defending champs going with the Denver Nuggets. Always can
Oh,
never count them out.
I
Jokic,
like it.
Jokic hits anything. Man, like be half asleep and hit a half court shot in your face.
Facts. But I think the West is very similar for me. I mean, you've got to put the Timberwolves in there. They're poised to make a good run in the playoffs this year. Anthony Edwards is a dog. He's really going to be good. Um, I mean, he's going to be a top five player in the future. I feel like after this year, he could cement himself as being that type of player. Um, and then for the Thunder, I've got the Thunder as my number two team in the West. I think they've got a good supporting cast, more so than the Timberwolves do. I think they're deeper. Um, but we'll have to wait and see come playoff time. I mean, Chet, you got SGA. Those guys can ball. So, and my third team, the only team that is different than us, I've got the Kings. I like De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis.
I like them
Those
too.
guys,
I'd probably have them at four. But
yeah. I've got them at three over Denver. Um, but I think they're going to be able to make a deep playoff push this year than Denver.
you think they're gonna make a deeper playoff push than Denver, the reigning champ? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about it. I still got Denver repeating.
Oof, we'll have to wait and see. But who do you have on the East?
I got Boston, of course, because Boston's been playing great. They were last time I checked, they were undefeated at home. They were like 17 and
Still
0.
are. Yeah.
They still are, yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely taking Boston. I'm not gonna count out Giannis and the Bucks just yet. I got them at second. I'm gonna be a little biased here. I think the Sixers are probably up there. I think Embiid's playing great, even though he's probably gonna miss out on the MVP voting.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take my Magic. I think my Magic have been balling out
Ooh,
real
that's
heavy. I
spicy.
think they got a
Okay.
shot at the fourth or fifth seed, which is crazy for them. So like I'm taking them at
Yeah.
three. I think they've been busting some people, especially with the young talent they got. I think I'm gonna take them at three. I think they have a shot at like a third or fourth seed this year.
I could see it possibly, especially come like the end of the year. If they got a little winning streak, anything can happen.
Oh, definitely. And Bonchero's been playing lights out. Like he's averaging better stats than Carmelo Anthony in his sophomore season.
Man. But for my East, I'm going Boston at number one. They're the clear-cut favorite right now in the East, undefeated at home. Tatum and Brown's balling. Number two, I think it's close. I've got Milwaukee though. I agree with you. I think Dame and Giannis, one of the best duos in the league right now. So I've got them at two. Number three, you could flip a coin for me. I've got either the 76ers or the Pacers, and I'll explain why.
Pacers are good. Pacers are a good
So
pick.
the 76ers with Embiid, if he can stay healthy, that is their golden ticket to the finals. If he can stay healthy, they can beat anybody because he's an MVP type caliber of a player. But he has some health liabilities, like in the previous seasons we've seen. So, with that being said, I'm going to put the Pacers at three, slightly over the 76ers, just because I'm not sure how much Embiid's health is going to be down the stretch. I mean, let's face it, he's been pretty much banged up his whole career.
Great
Um,
player, but yeah, you're right.
great player, great
Injuries have
player.
plagued him.
And And I love the Pacers. I mean, Halliburton's been balling. He's got a hamstring injury right now, but he'll be back in 2 weeks. And I think they're one of the hottest teams this season, surprising teams. And they beat the Bucks. I mean, they're good. They match up good with everybody.
No, they do. Magic beat the Bucks too. I just want to remind you of that. Magic beat the Bucks. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, that is true.
But it's an 82 game season, so I mean, getting a win here and there doesn't matter that much. Playoffs is what really matters. I'm just
Best
hoping.
of seven.
I'm trying my best to just keep. I just want the Magic to stay out of the play in. Like that's all I really want. Just stay out of the play in. Lock up, secure a
Yeah.
spot. Let's try to get to the second or third round this year.
Oh, yeah. But let us know down below who do you have for the top three teams in the NBA for the West and the East. But we'll move on to the next topic. NIL and transfer rules that are needed. What do you think about this?
So then the money needs to be fixed. Like there's so much money going out, and and like we've talked about in past videos, I do think they deserve to get paid 100%. Their likeness and stuff is being used. They bring in money for the school, the talent that they have, they ought to get paid. I think there needs to be some kind of restriction on like elevating this like level of pay because at certain points, I don't know, like I wouldn't want Caleb Williams. I don't want another Caleb Williams kind of deal. If that makes sense. Once part of the team that drafts him and kind of like that, and the transfer portal, man, it's like signing day every year, and
It really is.
and it doesn't wait till the playoffs are over. Like wait till after the playoffs at least if we're gonna keep this transfer portal open like it is. And I have no issue with people transferring. I just think there needs to be a limit on transferring
I agree.
because like we used to have a rule. It was you could transfer once and then you had to finish school. And I liked that. I thought that was fine. I didn't like the rule where you had to sit out a year. I didn't like that. I
Yeah.
think you should be able to play the following year if you transfer. But like it's just like there's no okay, here's one for you. Like this is another issue I have with like transfer portal. Uh, uh who would you classify Joe Burrow played? Who is Joe Burrow? What college did Joe Burrow play at?
LSU.
Played Ohio State too though. Is Ohio State not allowed to claim him? He
Oh,
graduated. He graduated from Ohio State.
yeah, for sure, like education reasons, but for football, he's well known for LSU.
Right, and I'm in agreement with that. But Ohio State fans are gonna claim him. So I'm just saying, like, there's no
Well,
credibility to like that home team that like it's hard to how do I put it? Watching a guy from your favorite team in college get drafted by your favorite team in the pros is like the best thing. Like you get to continue to root for him.
yeah,
If you go to college and play for four different schools your whole time, and then you get drafted, who's gonna like you don't have that same credibility if that makes sense. Like, don't get me
yeah,
wrong, go
I
get the
understand.
bag if that's what you want, but like it's harder for college football fans to root for you in that sense.
Very true. Um, I mean, you can check out our other videos, everybody, if you want to hear more about NIL. I've talked about it a lot in the past. I definitely feel like there should be some regulation surrounding it. You get one injury year for injury designation, and the transfers, I mean, it's just a mess right now. It really is. Players going left and right because of coaching changes. They don't like the program, and it's crazy. And ultimately, I think that is one of the reasons why Nick Saban decided to step down while he still can, because he has openly been heavily against NIL and the transfer portal. So it's just turning for the worst. And I think he got out while he could. Um, Not saying that's a primary reason. I'm just saying that could be a slight reason why Nick Saban decided to retire. But I openly do not like the NIL. I am all for them making money off their name, image, and likeness, but there needs to be more restrictions on it.
I have more issue with the transfer portal than I do NIL. Like
Yeah,
personally, I'm just like whatever, get paid kind of sense. Like it doesn't really affect me in any sense. But but when you transfer constantly, that affects my team when I'm rooting for them. It affects the players that I have to
yeah,
root for. It's kind of obnoxious for me. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. College football is never gonna be the same now for sure, anyways. So you can either like it and keep watching or not. I mean, that's all we can really do at this point.
and you got to think the governed body by NCAA, if they start making regulations for the NIL, they've got to give it to everybody, not D1, D2, and D3, because it's only fair.
No, like I'm like, how much money is enough? Like that's my thing. Because like, should these players? these college, like the thing about college was you're an amateur. Now you're amateur with sponsors, but like in the MMA world, you can't even do that. You start getting any kind of like sponsors, you become a pro. So like, I mean, you throw that out there. So like, sponsorships means pro athlete. Then these guys are pro athletes. Then they shouldn't be playing college ball in the same sense. Then, because you're a professional athlete, you're not an amateur anymore since you're getting paid. So I mean, that's just something to look at. Like, because that's the whole reason why we swapped. Like that's why players started getting paid is because hey, you're gonna start getting paid. But that's the reason you couldn't go in the if you went in the draft, you got rid of your eligibility because you became a professional athlete. You when you become professional, you get paid.
Yeah,
Therefore, like what are we changing here? Like nothing. Like you're making them paid, but like why do they give up their eligibility now? Because they're still getting paid. But like I've already
yeah.
looked at all the rules and shit on that, and it's just basically they're not NCAA doesn't pay them, so they're cool.
Mm, man. Yeah. Well, everybody, let us know your thoughts on NIL and the transfer portal, especially. But we'll go ahead and move on to the next topic. Bowl games don't matter anymore, do they, Stash? Let me know. What's your thoughts on the 12-team playoff format now?
Have bowl games ever mattered?
Yeah, to some degree.
What for? What's like you get a trophy?
Money.
The school gets money. You don't like
Yep.
players don't get money. The school gets money.
No,
I know
that's true. The
it's a big amount of money.
universities benefit from that,
Yeah,
and the
like
conferences benefit from that.
I think if you make a bowl game, like your school and every other school in your division gets paid a certain amount.
Yeah,
That's
they do.
great for the organization. So I mean that's I guess yeah. So I mean it's just another expedition. It's an expedition game with some money on the line.
I will say this. I think they've watered bowl games down so much to the point where almost anybody can get in if you had a decent year or an average year. An average year. 6-6. That's average. So I think they should be 8-4 at least before you can make the bowl game. I think that would, you know,
I think we should have a
that would
losers bracket.
the losers bracket.
Why not?
I
Like,
think,
I mean, you would give it third place, so whoever finishes wins that gets like the third place trophy. That way, you could take like the other like the next 24 team or next 12 teams that didn't make it. Player finishes third because that way they have a reason to play.
yeah.
But like, I mean, again, it's still gonna be bowl games. It's just gonna be a tournament. So like, I
Mm.
mean, third place doesn't matter.
Yeah, that is true. But if bowl game, like if you had to give it 8-4 record to make a bowl, I feel like that would definitely cut down on the amount of teams that are getting into these bowls and it'd make it more special.
That
Besides the 12-team format. So
I'm not a person for bowl games. But like especially with the 12 man, like those are the bowl games. The playoffs are the bowl games. So anything under that, I mean if you're not top 12 school, what are you? I mean nothing. You're not. Like you weren't good enough to make the top 12, and that like they're giving you 12 shots. You could have two losses to make the playoffs with 12.
yeah, I think it'll be very interesting to see how it goes down. Is it going to be the top four seeds or conference champs, or how are they going to go about it? Are they going to be like the best records, or
Me personally, if you're going into the playoff format like the NFL, I would break it down like this. I would break it up into there's 12 teams, there's four big conferences, top three from each school. You make it. Winner of the championships games, you get a bye week, and do it that way. Just make it like NFL. Let's just do it that way. That way, it's set in stone. We have kind of like a way of going about things with it, and just make it like the pros. Like that's what I don't get at this point. You're already changing the college format so much. Why not just make it like so that these guys have less to transition into when they get into the pros? And you know what? I think we should change the rules for the feet in bounds in college. I think we should make that 2 feet now. I mean,
I don't
get them,
disagree. That's yeah.
get them ready for the pros. Like if this is what the amateurs do, get them ready for the pros as much as possible. Set the shit up just like it's a pro game, and get it out there.
Yeah, if they're wanting to get paid like a pro, they got to be acting like it on the
Yeah,
field.
we'll call it the Super Bowl,
Semi-pros.
super the Super Bowl game.
Yeah, Super Bowl game.
Yeah.
Oh man, copyright maybe, but
SBC.
SBC.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's just what I thought. Like my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
That way, you
I
get your
like it.
division right. Your division guys who win the conference,
Mhm.
they get a bye. So if it was this year, so Alabama would get a bye, Florida State would get a bye, Washington get a bye, and Michigan get a bye, and then you would have everyone else. So like, I mean, that's just how I would have done it. And then you would take the top two schools other than them and put them in. That way, every conference has three schools in it. It's even.
Yeah.
I think it'll work best. Like that way, there's very little like there's very little biasism or anything in it. You just take your top three schools.
That's the thing. They've got to be a standard format to where it's non-biased to the point where this is the standard. You got to do this to get in, and there's no favoritism.
Yeah, I think that works. I think doing it that way, and people are gonna probably hate this take, thinking it's too much like the pros. I'm like, well, they're getting paid like professional athletes now, so I want them to play like the pros. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't hate the take at all. That's a good. I like it. That's pretty cool.
I'm just tired of all the biasism and this ranking system depending on schedule and stuff. If that's the case, if schedules are too easy, because I know they changed the schedules this year, thankfully, because like now the other SEC schools have hard schedules. I've been looking at them. Alabama's got a tough schedule. Georgia's got a tough
Yeah.
schedule. What's crazy is Florida last year played four of the big names in the SEC and Florida State included in the last 4 weeks of the season. So like,
Wow.
so I mean, basically everyone's getting a Florida schedule like they did last year.
Yeah. Very true. But we'll go ahead and move on to our next segment, everybody. Fantasy Theme Edition, NBA version. So we'll both give each other a team,
You want East or
and we'll have to
West?
pick. I'll take East. You go West.
All right, I'm giving you the Hawks.
Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna give you the Spurs,
Spurs. Okay.
and we got to pick 5 players. You can do 6 man too.
Yeah, we'll do 6 man on top.
All right.
So we
All
got a guy
time.
coming off
All
the
time.
bench.
I'll let you go first, Stash.
Okay, I'm taking Tony Parker
Mm.
as my point guard. Who you got for your point guard?
All-time point guard for the Atlanta Hawks. He was not a point guard, but I'm making him my point guard. I'm gonna go ahead and say Dominique.
Dominic Wilkins. All right. I mean, he's a
I'm,
small forward, but you want to take
yeah,
him there.
I'm gonna let
Uh,
him run point.
I'm gonna take. I'll have Richard Jefferson as my shooting
Really?
guard. Yeah, trust me on this.
Okay.
I already got my six. My 6 man's coming off the bench. I want him to come off the bench, so you know what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay.
I know who you
My
thought I was
shooting
taking.
guard. My shooting guard for Atlanta. It's going to be. Hmm, I'm gonna say Trey Young. I'm gonna need some three ball.
Okay.
I'm gonna need some action from beyond the arc.
Okay, that's valid. Trey Young, I expected Trey Young to be on this list.
Hmm.
I'm taking Kawhi at my center, baby.
Yeah,
I mean, not my center,
that's
as my
valid.
small forward. I'm taking him as my small forward.
Mm, I like it. My small forward, I'm taking Joe Johnson.
That's a good
ISO
one.
Joe.
That's a good one.
ISO. Yeah.
Power forward, I'm taking Timmy D. Easy.
Ooh, that's solid. Timmy D. Mm, man, power forward. I'm gonna go Paul Millsap, power forward.
Ooh, I think a lot of people forget about Paul Millsap.
Yeah, he's underrated. I mean, that early 2000s, mid 2000s Atlanta team was just crazy loaded with talent.
I'm taking the Admiral at my center.
Oh, okay.
Taking David Robinson, baby.
That's a really good. Dude, the Spurs were loaded, man. My center to match up with yours, Atlanta Hawks. I think Al Horford. I'm going with.
Ooh, little Florida boy.
Yeah, back in the day, I mean, he was nice with it.
I'm
So
taking. I'm gonna take Manu Ginobili as my 6 man.
I expected
I
that.
want him coming off the bench. I think he's gonna be more effective in the start.
Yeah, that's valid. Um, my sixth man coming off the bench. I'm trying to think here. Atlanta Hawks. I'm just gonna go ahead and say Kyle Korver. I need a shooter. Another
That's
shooter to
fair.
replace. Hey, to replace Trey Young, I mean, Korver could light it up. So I guarantee you I'm missing somebody. Let me know down in the comments um, who you would replace Kyle Korver with. But very good shooter, and
You could have got prime Vinsanity because he played for the Hawks.
that is true. Well, he wasn't in his prime.
Oh, I was just taking all these players in our prime.
Oh, okay. Well, Vince Carter, yeah, that'd have been nice. But
Carter.
yeah,
Vincent.
that was the end of his career with
Oh
Atlanta.
yeah.
But
Man
yeah,
got a
that's
dunk every year for 20 years.
that's crazy.
One dunk. That's it.
Uh,
One.
one. He had to make sure.
Oh, for sure. No, no, man's a legend for sure.
I would take the sharpshooter Corver over a 40-year-old Vince Carter though.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not gonna.
you ain't taking him over prime Carter.
No, 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 no,
No,
no, no. I'm taking VC over Corver for sure.
Vince
But
Hannity was nasty.
yeah, it was crazy. The elbow dunk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But let us know, which team do you think was better? Stash's Spurs or JT's Hawks? Let us know down below. But we'll go ahead and move on to the last segment of the day, everybody. So I hope everyone has enjoyed this little segment we've been going on. Been a lot of NBA today, but the last segment of the day is going back to college football. NCAA 25. When's it going to come out? The trailer is non-existent.
I was waiting all championship game for them to drop this. I've been waiting on this forever. I play 2K. I don't know 2K. I play NCAA 14 on my PC because I can't play anything else. So like it's the only chance I get to play college football. And to be fair, I think college football games were made way better than Madden. I can do a franchise like a dynasty on there, and it feels like special. There's trophies you get it put up for. I think it was a fantastic game. I know they're supposed to be bringing Mutt over, and I think that's a terrible idea. Like, keep your microtransactions out of this game. Do all you want in Madden. I don't care, but leave college football alone. I
Mm,
don't want these players all like. I don't want Madden in college football. I want college football by
yeah,
itself, Madden separate. Now the rule changes, sure, whatever. But I'm just playing a video game. That's all I want to do. I just want to get. I want to take Hawaii 15-0. I mean, come on, let me do it.
man, that would be crazy. But I've heard EA is producing the game, so it's going to be probably similar to Madden, unfortunately.
It's gonna be
But
running on the
if
same
they would
system.
do us, if they would do us any justice, they would make it just like the old game, but new. Updated. The graphics. Imagine the graphics.
Now I tell you what, the graphics look fantastic. My only complaint is just like I get these games take a lot of money to make and everything, and EA, you're not gonna sit here and tell me you don't make your money back. Don't lie to me about it. All right, I know better than that. You make your money back and then some. The fact, like, I know I'm not even gonna get into breaking down like how much money they make every year, but I've seen so many YouTubers say they spend 10 grand on their MUT team every year, and I'm like, 10 grand is like to some people life changing money, and no, just keep your microtransactions out of it. Nobody wants it. I sure as hell don't. I'm not gonna play your MUT team either way. I'll be playing Road to
Yeah,
Glory and I'll be playing Dynasty. Get your mud out of here.
exactly. We don't need that. But yeah, it's very interesting to see what they do with the game and when is the trailer going to be released because they've been teasing it for a while.
Man, I saw one today. It was like a fake trailer, but it looked so good. I'm like, that would have been fantastic if this was the opening for it.
And JJ McCarthy signing the camera
That's all he
needs to be
needs.
the opening of.
That needs to be when you press start. It's JJ McCarthy signing
Yep.
that, and then
That'd be the perfect intro.
I want that game so bad. But it's only coming to console at first. So it's only coming to PS5 and the new Xbox at first. And then you gotta wait for like a year before it comes to PC.
Mm,
Which is fine. I don't care. I would rather just wait. I'll get it on PC.
there you go. But let us know down below, everybody. What do you think about the NCAA coming out in the future? It's going to be a very, very coveted game, and we'll see how expensive it is.
$70. Easy. $70 base game.
Yeah, hopefully or less, but we can only hope. But that is the last segment of the day, everybody. Thank you for tuning in It's been a pleasure. Check out the TikTok, same handle, Thunder Sports Pod. Leave a comment and a like, sub if you haven't already. But it's been a pleasure. It's been JT.
And the stash, baby. We out. Till next week.